We'll celebrate St. Patrick's Day at Toyota Music Factory. We'll learn about the Daisy Bride Company, and we'll have a profile of artist Natalie Lambert. All this and more coming up About Town. Hello, everyone, and welcome to About Town. I'm Kathy Whiteman. We're so glad you could join us today for the details on a very special scavenger hunt. And we'll talk with Hector Guzman and Asleep at the Wheel's Ray Benson about the Irving Symphony season finale. And this week, Susan Stevens talks with Edward Drake, director of the new film Cosmic Sin. As always, we'd love for you to send us your feedback. Tell us about events going on around the community, interesting people we should profile, or stories you'd like to see on the show. You can email us at ictn@cityofirving.org or connect with us on social media. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. People donned their favorite green t-shirts, grabbed a shamrock or two, and headed to the Toyota Music Factory on March 17th for a little bit of the Irish. From the Texas Lottery Plaza to restaurants and shops, everyone celebrated St. Patrick's Day, and Susan was there for all the fun.
The Toyota Music Factory looked a little green this past week as they took part in a St. Patty's Day celebration.
Wherever you go, you're going to have something exciting in each one of the stores.
There is so much going on down here. I mean, this is the most people I've seen in over a year. So it's fantastic to see everybody out here celebrating.
The entertainment facility came together to make a game of the Irish holiday.
We've got a bingo card that takes you all around the center. Those will all be gathered in a big pot, and somebody will win a bunch of prizes and stuff at the end of the event.
The bingo card encouraged participants to throw an axe at Stumpy's Hatchet House, listen to live music at Nosh and Bottle, eat Irish food at Thirsty Lion, and sip on wine at Mercy Bar and Lounge.
We try to get wines that you're not going to see it in like a major retail store or chain. We like to find those boutique wine that, they're like small production, 400 cases. And, in the end of it, it's an experience.
Mercy Bar and Lounge also offered a wee bit of a green beverage.
Chartreuse is a French digestive, so you can compare it to like Jägermeister or Wampermint. It's a little bit more delicate.
There were lots of ways to score a bingo, but attendees said the event wasn't about winning a game.
It gives everybody a chance to come together. It gives them a chance to get to know each other. It brings attention to the Las Colinas, Irving area of the wonderful things that can be done out here.
For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
To stay in the know about events and activities at the Music Factory, visit toyotamusicfactory.com. Brides-to-be hoping to plan a traditional South Asian wedding have a new resource right here in Irving, the Daisy Bride. Susan talks with founder Arjita Sharmali about her digital platform and how it helps to take the stress out of planning the big day.
A lot of work goes into planning a wedding, but the details and production behind a South Asian wedding is another level of preparation.
South Asian weddings are typically 2 to 3 days of events. In Texas, the average Indian wedding is between $125,000 to $175,000, and that's average. When you throw the complexity of the event, the number of people, the budget, and the parents, it's a lot of decisions. And it's an expensive decision. So you want to throw this amazing event, but you don't know where to start. And that creates a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety, a lot of emotional decisions that are very different than if you were to plan a event for work or something that's a little bit more professional.
That's why Irving resident Arjita Sharmali has started a new business to help make that process less tense.
So the Daisy Bride is a platform that connects South Asian couples and families who are planning weddings with curated vendors in Texas. Today we are in Dallas, Houston, and Austin, and our goal is really to make wedding planning easier and more transparent for couples and families that are planning South Asian weddings, which includes Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and other South Asian weddings.
The idea for the Daisy Bride came after planning her own challenging Indian wedding that caused enough stress to lead her husband into the hospital.
It was 2 weeks before our wedding, and my husband is like, I think I need to go to the ER. I think I'm having a heart attack. And it was this like moment of panic, and we're like, oh gosh, what's going on? Let's go to the hospital. And like, thankfully, you know, after a couple of hours, it turned out to be an anxiety attack. But I think for me, the trigger there was a year of wedding planning. The stress of it has created enough anxiety for him to have a panic attack. And it took him, you know, 2 years to recover from that with therapy and other methods like meditation. When I started talking to other friends and couples and families, they said the same things. They're like, why is it such high anxiety? Why is there family drama? Like, why is it that there's no transparency in the industry? Why is it hard to find good vendors? Why does it cost us so much money and we're not happy? And so a lot of the same pain points.
To alleviate some of that stress, the Daisy Bride offers transparent pricing, unbiased reviews, and curates a list of reliable vendors, some of which are from right here in Irving.
We actually have a lot of vendors from Irving. We're super excited about this area because it's a booming area. One, there's a lot of South Asians, but beyond that, there's a lot of really, really great small businesses that are doing cool things.
The online platform narrows down your vendor and venue search.
Filter by city and the type of vendor you're looking for, so a wedding venue, a wedding photographer, a makeup artist. Secondly, we are just about to launch a new concept called a wedding venue concierge. It's your first decision, it's your hardest decision, it's your most expensive decision. And so we really want to make the process easier for you. So you come to the website, you fill out a form telling us about what your requirements are, and then we'll send you a couple of venues, chat with you through the process, and make sure you find the right venue for you.
The Daisy Bride looks forward to making it easier for future couples to plan weddings.
If you're a couple or a family planning, reach out to us and see how we can help you. If you're a vendor, we love adding new vendors to our platform. We want to help small businesses grow through digital marketing, through local high-quality leads. So reach out to us, email me, and we'll see what we can do.
For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
Visit the Daisy Bride on Facebook or LinkedIn to learn more. The Irving Symphony season finale brings 9-time Grammy winners Asleep at the Wheel to Carpenter Hall. Conductor and music director Hector Guzman and Asleep at the Wheel founder Ray Benson bring us the details. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining me.
Howdy, Kathy. How you doing?
Thank you for having us.
Glad to see you both. Hector, you guys called this season the season of gratitude. Why is a concert with Texas legends Asleep at the Wheel the perfect way to wrap up the season?
Well, number one, they're an absolutely wonderful band and great musicians. Not only that, but everybody's really nice. And that's kind of rare nowadays. And also, as you said, a season of gratitude because of what we've gone through. The pandemic has hit the arts, especially music, in a way that it was unprecedented. And just the fact that we're able to finish our season with such great artists, it is a privilege and an honor.
Well, you've got a town that is so looking forward to seeing Asleep in the Wheel, especially, Ray, you guys are celebrating your 50th anniversary this year. So I've got to ask you, what is the magic that has kept your fandom both loyal and growing all this time?
Well, it's actually our 51st year because we had to postpone the 50th year last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Good golly, I have no idea except for the fact that people keep coming back to hear us. Of course, you can judge by my beard, my appearance, that I am not as young as I used to be. But the amazing thing about this band is most of the folks in my band at this point are under 40 years old. So the music has survived numerous generations here, and it's so satisfying to see. And to play with all the great symphony orchestras around it is such a kick with us, because I played in the orchestra in high school, and I love symphonic music. And so this for me is, I like listening as well as the audience, I'll probably tell you that.
Well, there's nothing quite like making great music with a band that you enjoy, but when you know, especially after the perspective of 51 years, that you are introducing new fans to the music, that's got to be a pretty special thing. What are you planning for your fans at the concert that's coming up in Irving?
Well, the great thing about this show is that it combines just classic Asleep at the Wheel, which is we're a Texas Western swing band, but you along with some great arrangers, we have included the orchestra for such diverse things as the song Miles and Miles of Texas. So all of a sudden it's got 70, or I don't know how many people, maestro, but 50 to 70 other people playing along with what's normally a 7 or 8 piece band. So the sound is huge, same with Choo Choo Boogie and everything. And then of course we get to do a very what I call cool version of Ode to Joy, the great Beethoven number, where I get to sing the song because it's one of the great melodies ever written. And then I get to listen on stage to the orchestra play in my mind, one of the great orchestral pieces ever. So.
Well, I tell you what, if that didn't give everybody in this viewing audience chill bumps, I don't know what would. So it sounds like it's going to be a great, great concert. Hector, final question for you. The Irving Symphony has been so proactive throughout the pandemic, finding great ways to stay connected to your audience. But now you're back in. You are going to be in the Carpenter Hall, and I know that the Art Center has taken pains to make sure that everybody still feels safe. Anything in particular that viewers need to know about the concert on March 27th?
Yes. Well, the Irving Arts Center has graciously allowed us to have even more people in, but we're going to follow all of the guidelines. In other words, masks are still going to be required. Social distance within the orchestra is also going to be observed. And the Irving Arts Center will follow every protocol that the city has given us so that everybody in the audience will be safe. And also remember that we're going to also stream the concert to our loyal following. So that gives everybody a chance to enjoy the symphony with Asleep at the Wheel. That may be one of the best things that's come out of this pandemic, is that if you can't get to Carpenter Hall, you still have an opportunity to see what's going to be an incredible concert. Thank you guys so much both for joining me and for letting the community know what we've got in store coming up on Saturday, March 27th at 7:30 p.m. in Carpenter Hall. You can call 972-252-ARTS for tickets and learn more about the concert at irvingsymphony.org. The new sci-fi thriller Cosmic Sin takes us 400 years into the future, where a team of elite soldiers must battle alien zombies to defend planet Earth. Susan talks with director Edward Drake about the film.
Good evening, General. Oh, wait. You're just a civilian now.
Mr. James Ford. General Ryle is requesting your inimitable counsel.
No.
He's offered to reinstate you.
From the top.
4 hours ago, the crew of the Vander made first contact.
Stay there.
I read that the film was kind of trying, because the look of it looked really great. And I read that you guys were trying to go with creating ultra environments reminiscent to video games. Were there specific video games that you were inspired by?
Halo, Halo and Gears of War. Yeah, quite a few. Yeah. We definitely wanted to just give it that larger than life 80s energy, because it's interesting how films from the 80s influenced the look of video games leading up to today as well. Yeah. And now we're going back to trying to replicate that look. So it's this full cycle of Ouroboros coming together.
Yeah, and I felt that too. It actually gave me kind of like a Tron vibe a little bit too. So it was it was very cool. Yeah. Very cool. I like the music as well. That had an 80s vibe too.
Yeah, so the soundtrack is done by a guy called Vitaly Dobin, and he's a Russian friend of mine, and he's a rock star in Russia, but outside of Russia, not many people know him. So all of those tracks that you hear, like the bar scene, the ending, a couple other moments, that's all Dobin. And I was so happy I was able to get him to come on board to tweak a few of the songs and all that. So he's a really good dude.
Yeah. No, it was great. So I understand, did you guys shoot this film March 2020? Is that correct?
Yeah. So you know what's crazy? Just before I got on this, my little Google reminded me that yesterday was Bruce's first day on Cosmic Sin.
Wow.
So yeah, we made the movie in 9 days, and we had, it was supposed to be a lot longer, but the pandemic was coming, and we all knew the shutdown was approaching. And so on day 8, they said, Ed, you've only got 1 more day. You need to shoot anything you can to make sense of this story. So and that was also a safety thing. We didn't know no one knew at that point what COVID was doing. So we had to take the cast and crew safety into account and make sure that we made a kick-ass little story as well.
Wow, you made that in 9 days? Yeah. So was there a lot of post-production afterwards?
There was a bit, yeah, no more than we'd already anticipated for. I think the editor, Justin Williams, and I, we hit it off immediately. Justin and I have now worked on 3 films together, and we've only met once. So because we met the November before before COVID hit, and then we did all of post-production over Zoom, over texting back clips, being like, no, this, that, and then I worked with a really good VFX team, and I have a lot of experience in visual effects, so I was able to jump in and do a few shots myself. So
yeah. Very crazy. Cool. Did you have a particular scene that you most enjoyed shooting?
The bar fight was pretty cool. Yeah, opening bar fight. I wanted to take the Bruce that we had, the Bruce that he is now. There's moments of John McClane there, but he's just gruff. He's ready to just jump into that kind of a character. So I really was very fortunate to be able to write knowing that Bruce was going to be playing that role. Yeah. And I was just trying to hit every single one of his grace notes of what I knew we could get out of him. So it was
right. Awesome. Was he just as incredible as anyone would imagine to work with?
He's very cheeky. Yeah. So he can't understand a word I say because of my accent. So I think that's why we work so well together. I'll just direct him and he'll be like, okay, Englishman. I was like, thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
What's the status of the Q-bomb?
If we want to launch the Q-bomb, we need to get into orbit.
Suits up.
That's something, huh? We didn't know whether to burn it or put it in a museum.
I'm sure they said the same thing about me.
If we leave that door open, they're gonna charge in. We can make this the kill box.
We're not gonna wait for them to bring the fight to us. We're gonna take it to them.
What we do here is easy. The hard part is living with it.
Cosmic Sin is streaming on Amazon, Vudu, and YouTube. Artist Natalie Lambert's exhibit, I Love You Very Much, But explores love and hate as it manifests in human interactions. We talked with this talented artist about her work.
I take the charcoal and I go in with values such as black and gray and a little bit of white, and I start creating the surface of just these forms and lines and this sort of energy.
Natalie Lambert's exhibit in the Irving Art Center Focus Gallery is eye-catching in an unexpected way. Her abstract paintings and drawings seem to churn with a restless energy that make a viewer stop and wonder, what am I seeing here? What are these images?
It occurred to me as I was creating these that I was using the same palette to build this rosy, fat, turgid is the word, voluptuous, cherubic skin.
Skin, but not as an identifiable form. There's the suggestion of a neck or an ear, but nothing quite what you expect.
That could mean something, but then they don't. And so I kept choosing these clinching and grasping and ever more violent as it went on, like control and manipulation and squeezing. But it was fascinating to me that it also could look like the thigh of a baby.
Lambert creates visual metaphors for the tension between innocence and cruelty to explore the ways people choose either to help or to harm each other.
The show is very broadly about love versus hate and the decision that you make if you're going to make a loving choice or if you're going to be hateful. And the work is very much about current times.
Each piece is constructed as an allegory, part of the age-old story about acceptance or denial of another's humanity.
This one's called I'll Think About That Tomorrow, Tomorrow is Another Day, and that's from Gone with the Wind, Scarlett O'Hara. People latch on to that movie for the romanticism of the time period, which, if you're willing to empathize, it's not romantic at all. It's horrifying.
Lambert deliberately chose not to make pretty images for this exhibit, feeling a responsibility to reflect the times.
I think about that. I'm like, okay, well, I could change the work, but will I be satisfied with that? Probably not, because we're in a time period that art also can help people and shed light on things.
And she hopes viewers will let the work remind them that the choice between love and hate is in their power. This is Kathy Whiteman reporting. I Love You Very Much, but continues at the Irving Art Center Focus Gallery through March 27th. Irving Events rings in spring with an egg hunt with a twist. Holly Norman joins me with the details. Great to see you, Holly.
Good to see you too.
So you guys have found all of these great ways to adapt your roster of events to ways that we can still gather and have fun safely, and now you're doing it with your annual citywide egg hunt. Now, what is the name of this new event?
It is called the Citywide Scavenger Hunt, and it's the Egg Edition. So to just remind you a little bit about some of the other scavenger hunts we've done, we just named it the Egg Edition so we can get people out there.
I think so, because you guys have really had some success with those scavenger hunts, and yes. I am intrigued. How does this one work?
So it's going to be similar. We're going to be using our cell phone, so if anybody has a phone with a camera on it, it's going to be super easy. It's going to start on the City of Irving website on our special events page, and you'll be able to link in under the Citywide Egg Hunt. It'll take you to the first clue. You're going to go to that location of the first clue, and then there we'll have signs out with QR codes. And on those QR codes, you'll be able to just take your camera, literally like you're going to take a photo, but just kind of lay it over it. It'll pop up a link, and then it'll tell you where your next clue is going to be. And you're going to go to 3 different of our parks and the recreation centers. And each one of those parks are going to have the clues, and you're going to try to get to the final clue where the bunny has been hiding special eggs and trying to deliver, and he lost a golden egg on the way. So that's the one they've got to find.
Okay, this sounds like so much fun, and it gets people out of the house, which we all are desperate to do. So good for you guys. So basically you need a phone. And what else do viewers need to do to participate? Do they need to register, or what's going on with that?
No registration required. They'll just link in, like I said, to the city website. As soon as they start playing along, they'll hop along to the different parks, and they're going to get to their final clue where there's a golden egg. At the end, they're going to scan it. It's going to have them do a fun little quick survey, and when they get to the end, they get to go inside that recreation facility and get their prize. Oh, great. So instant gratification there. We love that.
Yes.
We love that.
Now, I know that you guys have had some fun with social media and have had a hashtag. Do you want people to take their pictures in that business also?
Absolutely. If they can hashtag Irving Events, that would be great. We're posting all of our pictures. Any pictures you take along the way as you're starting out getting your clues to the middle to the end would be great. We love to see the fun that people are having. We just want to see that people are getting out there and just enjoying and having a good time. And especially during this season, Easter is so much fun, and kids love egg hunting. I know my son does. So we just want to see everybody enjoying their time.
Well, I think it's a great idea and a fun idea and a great way to get people out there and, kind of getting out of the house, because we need to do that these days. Folks, the Citywide Scavenger Hunt Egg Edition kicks off at noon on Friday, March 26th, and ends on April 3rd at 4 p.m. For more details, visit cityofirving.org/1262/Citywide Egg Hunt. Lonesome Dove, photographs by Bill Whitliff, is currently on display in the Irving Arts Center Dupree lobby. It's an insider's perspective on the filming of the iconic miniseries. Here's a preview and a list of other epic things to do about town. And here are a few events of note this week in our happenings about town. The new Philharmonic Orchestra of Irving presents Connections, It's Spring, on Sunday, March 28th at 3:30 p.m. in Carpenter Hall. And if you'd like to learn more about the visual arts and the exhibits at the Irving Arts Center, join them via Zoom for Lunch and Learn on Tuesday, March 30th at noon. To reserve your place, visit irvingartscenter.com. And for tickets to events at the Irving Arts Center, call 972-252-ARTS. And that wraps up this edition of About Town. Thanks for joining us. Please be sure to tune in next time for highlights from Irving's Got Talent, a visit to Law for Fine Dining at the Four Seasons, and news about Compassion to Action, a new nonprofit helping the homeless. We'll leave you tonight with a look at The Nashville Legacy Lives On, featuring Jason Coleman and Megan Taylor. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kathy Whiteman. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.